Yo, 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 we are live. You already know what this is, man. This is the check-in. I am your host, Heat Detector. We got my co-host over here.
What's up? It's your boy Jizzo.
We also got you-know-who in the background that don't ever show his face.
Yo, yo, yo.
Cam is in the building. We got
What's
a special
going on?
show tonight. But before I get into that, give him that disclaimer, Jizzo.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning into the check-in. As you know, just a quick disclaimer: we are not licensed therapists. We are not, none of that, man. We're just speaking from how we see things, and we talk about real life topics, man. So don't try to sue us for nothing. We're not, giving medical advice. None of that, man. We're just talking about men's mental health. We're just talking about it from our perspective. So, in the words of Nash Vino, don't fucking play with us.
Yeah, and I'm going to reiterate that by saying this, man. If you got sugar-coated candy cane, motherfucking cotton candy-ass ears, this is not the show for you.
Nah.
If you are easily offended, this is not the show for you.
Nah.
If you watch with your emotions on your sleeve and you're going to get butthurt, this is not the show for you.
Nah.
But we're also not here to attack people or anything like that. We're here to help as much as we possibly can with life situations and things of that nature, because we all go through it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody needs help every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs an ear to listen, a shoulder to cry on, maybe a brother to lean on. All that. So again, if you ain't rocking with that shit, then we're gonna need you to evacuate the premises. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And don't get mad at us, but we doing our thing, man. We trying to help people out here. We are helping people. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, we got our old, long-lost co-host who disappeared on our ass, but he back, man. He back. He back like a motherfucker. And I'm going to bring him in the building, man. You already know. If you've been familiar with this show, you already know who he is. He is the motherfucking drill sergeant.
Drill sergeant.
Motherfucking. But today, he's all the way in Germany right now. So I'm going to bring him on in. Our motherfucking main man, OT.
OT, what up?
Hold on. Look, see, I'm over here. God damn, here we go. Let me add OT. There he is. Hold on. Let me fix one other thing so we can get you all the way in there, brother. All right. Oh, no. That ain't do it. Damn it. Bam. The picture-in-picture should have turned on. Hold on, we're gonna have to put him there and then put in picture-in-picture. Picture-in-picture. All right, what the deuce is going on here? Okay, there we go there. Bear with us, people. I don't know what. There he is. Let me get him out of Jizzo's face. There he is. That's OT. OT is in the building. How you been, brother?
What's up?
Great, great to see y'all. How y'all doing? I'm out here in Germany. Like y'all see up front. Glad to see y'all. And I ain't been too far. I've been around. I've been watching the show from the cut. But it's been a lot going on. So I'm glad to be here with you guys tonight. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
shout
you
out
very much.
Shout out to you, OT, man. We love seeing you again, bro. And it's been a minute since you've been on the show. But tonight, we're going to talk about grieving. Because I think it's a topic that doesn't get touched on a lot, I mean. And just for me personally, going through some things and understanding what it is to grieve, and understanding when you're hurting inside, like, and you don't know how to manage that, and you don't know how to deal with that. I have a friend who had someone pass away too, and they're having a really tough time with the grieving process. They're having like a really bad time, and he was telling me that even just having a conversation over the phone with me, and not because I'm all that great or anything like that, but just takes his mind away from what he can't seem to control in his thinking. You know what I'm saying? He can't seem to control the loss, the thought of the loss in his mind. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, man, and I'll probably hang up with you, and then I'll be good for about 10 minutes, and then next thing I know, I'm fucked up in the head again. And I was like, God damn.
But just to be specific, for anybody that's watching, we're not just talking about grieving like
A loss
death.
of family, death. Yeah.
We're talking about grieving anything, grieving a relationship, grieving a friendship, grieving something that you're emotionally attached to, something else, like anything. You know what I mean? We're talking about grieving all around. So it's just, this isn't about death specifically, but if that's something that you're going through or grieving in that, then we're going to talk about it as well in the show.
Yeah, and I think some may think it's a touchy subject, or something we probably shouldn't talk about, but I feel like everything mental health wise we need to touch on. You know what I'm saying? We at least, because I don't think there's any person alive that hasn't grieved something. If it's loss of a parent, loss of a friend, even loss of a fucking relationship. You know what I'm saying? Loss of a pet. There are people who grieve their pets like kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that grief is real. It's not fake. It's real. Grief is grief, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. It's. I don't even know where to begin with it. You know what I'm saying? And we just had a family member pass away. Over the weekend, it was a whole funeral and everything, and the mood of everybody was, I won't say weird, but it was there might be one person crying over here, there might be one person laughing over here, and there's another person is just stone-faced McGillicuddy, and it's just like, yo, like, you can't really read the room. Like, not that you would need to read the room, but it's like hard to even judge, like, should I tell this person they're gonna be all right? Should I, I don't know, man. I've never been good with any of that shit. When my mother passed away, I mean, I'm still grieving on that. I'm like, I didn't get a chance to grieve my mother. I didn't get a chance to grieve my brother when he passed away. But I'm finding now, the more that I have this kind of time, and when I'm doing self-reflection and everything, that the moment I start thinking about it, man, and the moment I go, fuck, and they're gone. They ain't coming back. Like, because I'd never, it was just like I had to make myself keep pushing forward without actually taking the time, because I think it's important to take the time to actually grieve. It's important because you need to get that shit out of you. You need to know that person's gone, or that person, or whatever it is, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us have stuffed that shit down and stuff it down and stuff it down. And what ends up happening is it starts affecting other things that we do.
What are the signs of, what do you think are the signs, maybe specific to you, of someone that hasn't been able to grieve?
Shit.
Well,
Specific to me, or who you talking to?
I just mean, I'm just saying, we're just talking about somebody like
talking about, bro.
that, just anybody, somebody that hasn't been able to grieve. What do you think?
Drinking, that's probably number one. Like, to me, that would be like number one. Or taking on more things to keep your mind busy. So you're overdoing it, you know what I mean? You start doing more shit to keep your mind off of whatever it is that you're grieving. But in the process of doing all of this more shit, you're piling up more stress, more things, more stuff, and now you're fucked up over the things, all these other things that you started doing, or you know what I mean? And it could be just calling up the wrong motherfuckers that you know damn well you shouldn't even be around because you're grieving so hard. Misery loves company.
Company,
is the old saying. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes keeping the mind busy is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to, I don't want to say like dwell over the fact that you admit or missing that person, or whatever the situation you're grieving on. But sometimes like keeping your mind busy can help you, you know what I'm saying, grieve in a positive manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know like some people will go to work and still go to work when, their mom had passed, or their dog had died, or, you know what I'm saying, something that was hard for them to deal with. You know what I mean?
But you can't bury yourself in work.
Somebody told me, I heard the other day, I was talking to somebody and they said that their boyfriend passed away and they went to work that day.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the very next day they were at work, and everybody at work was like, what are you doing here at work?
What the fuck are you doing here?
And they were just like, man, I need to be here. Like, I have to be here at work. Like, this is, I don't know. Everybody grieves in a different way. I know damn fucking well I wouldn't be at my job, but everybody's grieves different, Like,
oh yeah,
that person felt they needed to be at work
at that point in time, but like that person also said Well, that person was on the check-in, so like it was Rose. Rose.
No, hey, come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I don't want to do
Come
that.
on.
I don't want to do that.
Hey, anyway, check it out. One of
but
the
I'm
things though.
saying, like, but
What some people do though is some people need to divert themselves or find something else to do. But it's not healthy. Like Cam said, to deal with it. You can say, okay, I'm gonna go to work. We just mentioned because we know once you get on task, you something to do. You got something you can occupy your mind. But the process is identify that you are grieving. Identify it, or at least say speak to it. I am missing this person. And you deal with it in different ways. Like you said, some of it you might need to build more. You might need to spend some time doing it. With it. If it's a pet, like you said, maybe let the picture close to you. But if you don't deal with it, you mentioned it becomes an issue because now you start doing other things. You start stacking stuff up. That stuff don't get completed. Now you attach to what you're dealing with, and it becomes a mess. So the best thing is to take time to grieve.
Yeah,
and you can tell it when you meet somebody that just went through how they change how they look when they're pushing it away when they carry themselves how they work especially in my old military when somebody's grieving sometimes you gotta shut them down and say you need to take time to grieve otherwise you become ineffective.
Yeah. And you don't want to be ineffective at work. You want to lose your job because you're fucking grieving.
Right. Livelihood, everything.
I mean, there's a whole lot of shit. Some motherfuckers just let themselves go completely. You see them one day, they're clean as hell, and the next, week or so, like they're in shambles. You know what I'm saying? But they won't talk about it. They won't do anything. You know what I mean? I'm actually even guilty of even like now, like when I think about my mother and my brother. I have to catch myself because I'll be stopping myself from grieving, and I don't want to do that shit anymore because a lot of shit that I was doing in the past, a lot of that shit had to do with that. But that was also me recognizing that was the fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? That I hadn't properly grieved them, and then even sometimes I would say, I haven't grieved my mom or my brother, but at the same fucking time, I would use it as an excuse, or you know what I'm saying? Or not even really doing anything about it. Yeah, like a crutch. You know what I'm saying? But like now, it becomes emotional, and I'll start feeling like I want to fucking cry, or I need to talk to somebody or something. But instead of stuffing it back down, because I know now that shit was unhealthy as fuck. Instead of stuffing it down, I try to talk about it as much. I talk about it as much as I can. Or if I don't have anybody to talk to, I'll just think about them and I'll grieve them in that moment, but in the happiest way that I can. You know what I'm saying? And just think about the good times, the time spent, and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Because it's hard as fuck not to cry. It's hard as fuck not to, to lose yourself in your emotions and shit, which is okay, but it's hard as fuck because you don't want to lose it completely. You don't want to fucking, you know what I'm saying, flip your lid or anything. You know what I mean? Because it can be very harsh. And even if it's a relationship, like if it's a relationship, a breakup, a marriage, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you're going to grieve the loss of that person. They may not be dead, but you're going to grieve the loss of that person. And that shit is hard as fuck too. When you really love somebody, to actually let go of that love, that shit right there is not only hard, that shit's dangerous. That shit can be very volatile, the shit can be very toxic, and the shit can just be fucking outright dangerous to even be toying with that shit. You know what I mean? And, I don't know, like, first of all, if anybody's out there in the comments, if you're on Facebook, we can't see your comments, jump over to Unwrap. At Unwrap on YouTube or Shy City Cypher, because it's being posted on there as well. Come on, man.
Hey, and also I want to give a shout out to all the viewers right now that is sitting in and watching on the show, man. We're talking about grieving. So if any of you guys like have anything that you guys want to say about our topic, about grieving, feel free to jump in the comments, man. We want you guys to jump in. We want to hear you guys.
And actually, I'll put the link in the YouTube comments So if you want to hop in and speak your piece, you don't have to. You can turn your camera off if you don't want to be seen, or if you want to be seen, go ahead. But I just put the link in YouTube. Put it on the other one as well. And if you want to hop in. We'll gladly talk about it. If you're grieving somebody, man, come on. We'll help you. We'll, you know what I'm saying? We're like Jizzo had stated, we're not licensed therapists or anything, but would definitely be an ear to hear or to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, man. You know, sometimes all you need is an ear or a shoulder to lean on, and think of us as that. You know, an ear and a shoulder to lean on. You could lean on us all day long. We actually invite the leaning and the talking. We invite that real talk.
And we do that off air as well, man. We all, you know, we chop it up with each other. OT's said many times, if anything's ever wrong, just hit my line, man. You know, let's chop it up, because we talk about it and we live it too, man. So, you know, and if you're listening, man, you know, you need to understand that people do care. They care about you. They care about, you might think I don't have nobody. You might be at that point where you think you don't have nobody. People care, man. People care about you. People love you. So make sure that, you know, you reach out to somebody. And if the week just got too hard, man, at least hang on till Sunday. Because on Sunday we got the check-ins at 8:30.
8:30.
We got the
Chicago time.
We're gonna talk about it. And you know, if you're listening, man, and something's going on, feel free to just get in the links, man. And if it's off topic, let's talk about it.
Just talk about it. We'll stop it. We'll stop the whole show.
We've had 3-hour conversations on the check-in before jumping all over shit. You know, OT, you were on that show.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
You know, we've done this for hours, and we come back every week. And Heat Detector is very diligent in making sure that he's here every week at 8:30, no matter what. And he expresses that to me all the time. We got the show. It's going to happen. You got to be there. I don't care what's happening that day. We're going to make time for the check-in. So, you know.
So I think it's so important.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, what is there like a timetable or like a certain time that is appropriate to not be grieving anymore? Like, is there? I mean, I'm not saying like to rush the grieving process or anything like that, but like, for instance, like my mom, she passed away in 2020. And then like a couple years after that, I lost one of my best friends, and then I lost another one of my best friends a month after that, and 2 months after that, I lost my great grandpa. Damn. So like in the midst of me losing these people that were important in my life, you know, especially my mom. Shout out to Crystal Marie Medico, man. I miss you and I love you.
Rest in peace.
But like when my mom had passed, like I was there for like my family. Like I made sure like I held it down for the family, you know what I'm saying? And took care of the things that needed to be taken care of, you know, her memorial, you know, calling the friends, you know, shout out to my sister, Cassie Marie Buchanan. She helped me out with that too, you know. And it was hard, and I still find myself to this day, like, you know, I have 2 pictures of my mom in my room that I'll be looking at all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps my drive. You know, besides my children, that's what keeps my drive and keeps me going. And so I say that because, like, I'm still grieving her, and I can feel that I'm still grieving her, and I can feel, you know, I'm sad. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not here, and I miss the conversations, but I'm rejoiceful and happy because I knew she was suffering and I knew that she was hurting. You know what I'm saying? But I ask you this question because it's like I'm still grieving over my mom, and then on top of that, I lost 2 of the closest, you know, like friends that I had in my life, and then my great grandpa. So is there like a time where, like, you know what I'm saying, it gets easier to grieve? You know what I'm saying?
I think
is there
people
like
grieve
a
in
time?
different stages and for different. Sorry to cut you off, Cam. I think playing on what you're saying, like I think that people grieve in. A friend of mine, I was talking to her, and was telling her about, you know, how I felt like that maybe she was still grieving the loss. One of her and this is, I have a few friends that this has happened to, and then her boyfriend passed away, and it had been maybe already like 3 years. And I said something like, maybe you're still grieving him. And she said, well, I went to therapy, and I'm not grieving the loss anymore. She's still grieving the things that, you know, the bad parts of the relationship that didn't get resolved.
Yeah.
Because it was like abrupt.
Resolution is a
He
motherfucker.
passed away abruptly, and it was just like there was no resolution to certain things. And like she said, she's still mourning that. She's still grieving that. Like, so yeah, I think there's definitely different parts. But you know, I was still assuming that after 3 years, she probably was still grieving. Like, and she was just like, well, you know, I'm kind of over that. Like, I'm past that. I was able to get past that with therapy, but now I'm grieving these other things and these other situations. So I don't know. I don't think there ever is. I mean, for anybody that's lost anybody, I mean, my mom's been gone over 20 years now, and you know, you never get over it. You just learn how to continue to work your life and continue to move on, because they would have wanted us to. But yeah, I don't think anybody, I mean, why would you get over it? You know, it's somebody that was important to you. You don't have to get over it. I don't think there's a like, all right, we grieve and then we have to get over it. Like, no, you'll always, I think for life, will always honor them and still grieve their loss in some ways, on holidays, on birthdays, you know, family events, you know, and that's why, like, you know, for when we did the Shy City Cypher podcast before this one, but every week I try to dedicate the show to, you know, somebody that's fallen, because we'll always remember, we'll always grieve in some kind of way, but you know, you learn to live through it.
And you know, I asked that too, is because like a job, they'll give you like a time period of like how long you can be gone from work. And it's like for instance, like when my mom passed, I was a technician for an optometry place, you know what I'm saying? So I was an optometrist technician. And I had just started working. I had been there for like 6 months, and my mom like passed away like in her sleep. It was just the craziest thing. I had talked to her the day before, and literally their rule of being at that job is that you can't take like any type of grievance or anything for a year. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't take any type of grievance or any type of vacation or anything until you're there for a whole entire year. And so like, I mean, thank God they gave me like, you know, 3 days, but you know, I had lost my job, and I know why. I mean, I wasn't able to go back to work is what I'm trying to say. It's like, I wasn't able to like move on from the fact that my mom had passed. Like, even though I was the rock for, you know, my friends and my family that were going through, you know, my mom dying and stuff like that. Like I wasn't able to pick myself up and go to work and do those things. And it's like, why is there a time limit for jobs if, you know what I'm saying, this is one of the like losing someone is the hardest thing that you're ever going to have to deal with.
Yeah, there shouldn't be no time limit. Shout out to Shy City Sheba. I thought Shy City Cypher was hard to say. Shy City Sheba. She said that grief is I believe her comment said
Well,
grief.
I was just gonna go through her comments because we were talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Her first one here says, "This is good stuff. Really need this. I really need this," is what she said.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the second one was, "Yep, stages are so true. There are stages. Yeah, 100%." And the last one she just sent, it was shout out to Shy City Shiva. Damn, it is hard to say.
It's
huh?
hard to say.
Yeah, but we appreciate you being in the comments. We appreciate you on the show, man. This is what I'm talking
She
about.
said, "I think grief is ongoing, but managing strategies keep you moving." And yeah, for sure, grief is always. That's what we're saying. It's just always gonna be ongoing. You just figure out like how to continue to live your life and honor them however you can. Like Cam, you've got the pictures up in your room. That's your way of, you know,
honoring who they are.
Honoring them. And I think also being able to grieve, it's a grieving process, right? Because the pictures are there. So every day you're like working on that mentally and step by step.
There's there's 5 stages of grieving, and that is one is denial. After that becomes anger. And then bargaining. I can't really read that. It says struggling to find meaning of like how they pass. So the bargaining, I guess that's what that would be, struggling to figure out like why them. and then depression, and then finally acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't know about that
process.
as far as like that shit is concerned. I don't think that there's a time limit. I think that I don't think that's like proper, like how it should be numbered or anything, because I know my ass be all over the place with it still to this day, because some days I'm accepting of it, other days I'm depressed of it. Maybe that's because I stuffed it and I didn't properly grieve. Another day I'm in denial. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they're here somewhere or something, and then other days I'm mad as shit because I feel like I need them to talk to, or I need them right now. This is when I need you right now, and you're not fucking here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. This some cold ass shit. But I don't think that there is a timeline.
Different grieving too. I wanted to talk about that, like grieving the loss of a friendship. So not like that they died, just that relationship ended for whatever it was, and like grieving the loss of a friendship, man. Like you that ever happened to you? Like you was tight with somebody for so long, and then they did some real dumbass shit. And then it's just like, dude, you just think back, like, man, that's stupid what you did. Like, we were such good friends. Everything was so good.
Right.
We knew each other's families, respected each other. You just came and fucked it up. Like,
that would be the anger part. And shout out to Shy City Sheba. Yeah, she says, sorry for your loss, though, for real. She says she lost her spouse last year this month. So,
our condolences.
Man, that just means that even, some people may say, a year, because I'm looking online right now, and it's saying, a year should be sufficient. And I don't know who wrote that shit.
Well, speaking on that topic, Sheba, specifically, so I know somebody that they lost their significant other, and this is yet another friend. I've got multiple friends that this has happened to, but this specific person, she lost her significant other. He passed away, and I believe it was like 6 months. And I got one of my guy homies too that the same thing happened to him. His girlfriend passed away, and I think it was like 3 or 4 months, and they were already posting a new relationship.
Damn.
On the internet, And I was just thinking, man, and one of them was posting on the internet, and the other situation, they just had somebody new that they were living with, and it was like 6 months in. And I just remember thinking, damn, in my mind, I thought that there was a time, like, for when you lose a significant other. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, is it like a year? But for some people, right, it's a couple months, and you just like move on with your life. Like,
I mean, in a relationship, I guess, but even that shit, like, I mean,
what is the time period for them? Like, how long were they in a relationship together for? Because I feel like
in both situations, a couple of years. In both situations,
I feel that's what I'm saying. I'd be sick too. Cy City Shiba.
Sheba. Jesus Christ.
Change your name.
Hey, OT, it's your turn.
I'd be sick too. It's like, dude, all the memories, all the good times you had. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're like madly in love with that person. Like, I could not even imagine myself to even think to go and date somebody else. I mean, that is that
fucking, grieving though? Is that a part of grieving? Getting with somebody else?
I don't know if I don't know, man. I mean,
call it a rebound.
Each its own.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
OT said he called it a rebound.
Well, rebound is like when you're in a relationship and y'all break up and you get with another chick. But I'm saying, like, you think it's a rebound to get with another person and your significant other died?
Yeah. Some people need that.
That's
you gotta
crazy.
understand, fellas. Some people need that. Not just fine. Just knowing from dealing with people. You need to replace that. So there's a void, like a vacuum.
Hey Sheba, Sheba in the comments, Shy City Sheba. How do you feel about that, Sheba? Do you feel like you would, are you? I don't know if this is too sensitive, but are you ready to date? Are you ready to talk to somebody? At what point did you think you were ready, or would you never be ready? Like, what specifically, in your situation, since we're talking about you and your spouse that passed away.
Well, can we say something real quick before we get into that? Okay, and these are things they say how to help you cope with grief. and that one is expressing your feelings, being compassionate and kind to yourself. I think that is key as shit. Letting yourself grieve in your own way and in your own time. That's heavy.
Yeah, I think there's no answer to it. So, you know, when Cam asked, what's the time? And even me saying, oh, well, there's got to be a time for if you get with somebody else and your partner passed away. That's really none of our business, man. It's however that person chooses to cope. If they needed to be in a relationship 2 months after, then they needed to be in. I've heard of situations, people I don't know, but it's like a month later.
Yeah,
Right
that
away.
is insane.
You know, I know somebody that their person passed away, and at the funeral service,
Yeah.
at the wake,
All right, Sheba, I
they
see
met at the
Yeah,
wake.
that's real shit.
And we'll get to your comment right now, but I'll finish this thought. But at the wake of this person that lost their significant other, there was a friend of that person that passed away that was there and exchanged numbers, and they hooked up at the funeral.
Shut the
Ooh.
They hooked up at the funeral, bro.
Ooh.
And I'm not gonna say no names or nothing, and y'all definitely don't know who it is. But seriously, man, this person exchanged numbers with the best friend of their spouse that just passed away at the funeral, and they ended up being together. And actually, they're still together to this day. And
Yo,
that
that's
was
crazy.
like 6-7 years ago. But I just thought it was so crazy. I'm like, dude,
Man,
was there any kind of grievance? Any time did you need grievance? Maybe they didn't need grievance.
No, but
I don't
sometimes
know.
when somebody has a loss like that, sometimes latching on to somebody is like it's like a reflex. It's like because you're missing a part of you, and then you just kind of gravitate or you latch on to somebody because you've lost something. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody does that. You know what I'm saying? I know that when my brother passed away, like everybody that I thought was my friend ended up, I tried to make them like my brother. You know what I'm saying? I tried to, you know, even at the funeral,
Replace that, right.
like trying to replace that shit. So, you know, if that in the relationship now, I don't think that shit is right that a motherfucker would do that at the goddamn funeral. But I mean, maybe she's just trying to fill that void at the moment. You know what I mean? If they're together to this day, man, God bless them. But you know, I think that's tacky as fuck. But that's just me. But
Do you see? So there's no time limit, and
Yeah.
there's really no boundaries either. It's just like whatever. I mean, yeah, we have a standard, right? We say, all right, be a decent person, have some kind of a whatever, have some kind of a morning time for mourning. But for some people, it is what it is, and that's you can't judge them because if I'm not gonna judge the one person, I can't judge the other person.
that's big
you know?
facts. Sheba says she says no, I'm not, and I don't think I ever will. And I think she's responding to like if she's
the
ready,
question
ready
about
by dating somebody. And I think it is most are nursing wounds. They don't like being alone. Yeah, and just case in point, what we were just talking about right now with you know, buddy and old girl like linking up at the damn funeral. I mean, yeah, people don't like being alone, man, and that hurt could be so bad that they're just making that decision, spare the moment or whatever. You know what I mean? Shit. Let me read what grief is real quick. It says grief is a natural response to loss. It is the emotional suffering you feel when someone or when something or someone you love is taken away. Often, the pain of loss can feel overwhelming. You may experience all kinds of difficult and unexpected emotions from shock, anger, disbelief, guilt, and profound sadness. The pain of grief can also disrupt your physical health, making it difficult for you to sleep, eat, or even think straight. These are normal reactions to loss, and the more the significant loss, the more intense your grief will be. That's big facts. I never thought of it like that because, yeah, I mean, like my health went kind of shitty like both times, but like I was just drinking myself into a stupor every day, nonstop from morning to night. Went to sleep drinking, woke up drinking, and obviously with that, you know, my health would decline. I wasn't able to sleep. I was sleeping maybe 2 or 3 hours a night, if I even slept. And still go through that kind of shit. If I stop and think about it too long, sometimes I just can't fucking sleep.
I
You know
think
what I'm
grieving
saying?
is a skill too. Grieving is a skill that you like build on. And hear me out. If you've been through a couple significant things already in your life that have happened to you, let's say 2 things: a death of a parent, you know, and just 2 significant things. It kind of builds you up to like also be like a little bit stronger, right? Because as you continue to go through life, like I think like I don't know, just in different ways, you're able to like kind of, you've been through so much already that things don't surprise you.
Where's
Things-
D-Nick when we need him? I think that's a coping mechanism. No, for real, I think that's like more of a coping mechanism. You know what I'm saying?
Like when
Because-
you've lost so many people that you're just cold to it, or you hear such and
that's
such died.
coping mechanism. Like that's like being numb to a situation. You don't want to be numb. You don't want to be numb, bro. You want to be like I just read off on some of that shit right now. You know, you got to be able to express that shit. You got to be able to get that shit out your system.
Yeah, but it makes
But
you
in a-
strong, though. It makes you
Yeah,
strong.
if-
You don't. Everyone don't have to go through depression. That's not the.
Nah,
that's
nobody
not
said
the
they
final.
had to.
but
Nobody
it's a
said they
step in
had
what
to.
you read. It was a step of part of what you read, and I heard that, and I'm like, well, no, I don't think everyone has to go through depression. I mean, if you just grieve and get over things, however it is that you do, and you make it out on the other side, you didn't have to be depressed. You know, you just.
No, I don't think it's a matter of have. I mean, you think one man's trash is another man's kingdom. Shit.
Stretch, right, and that's where that thing said we talked about earlier when that person,
Oh, well, shout out to you, Sheba.
I mean,
Make
you
sure
know
you
what
like,
I'm
share,
saying?
subscribe,
So-
everything. My bad.
yeah. And it's just a process. Like we keep saying, it is a process. Depending on, like we said, how invested you are in it. A mom, mom is hard to replace. I'm surrogate to one of my mentors right now. He lost a son and a daughter in like a year time frame. And for him, he turned around and invested love back into me. And so we first kind of talking, two kids he lost, real good friends of mine. And now I'm like his replacement son. And some days on their birthdays, he gotta call me because now he's like this. You my son. He finally broke down after 3 or 4 years. Finally broke down. Hey son, I really appreciate you being there, for answering, talking to me on those days, birthdays, and so. Like you guys say, I'm his replacement to the kids now. I mean, I'm 58, and he's on 70, 80, I don't know how old he was. But I'm the replacement. And then again, that was our process of grieving. Because I could talk to him about kids being gone, my friends, him for losing loved ones, his kids, and we've used that as a replacement. So it works sometimes. I think it works a lot of times.
Yeah, I think it's different for everybody. I can't speak on how the next man grieves or should grieve or do whatever. I mean, it's a process, and it's a process, but it's like a, I don't know, man. It's like it's a life thing, don't you think? It's like it's gonna happen.
Experience.
You just gotta kind of like our family member who passed away. I think kind of the reason why everybody was kind of like stoic and there really wasn't that many people crying. There wasn't that much, because sometimes when things like that happen, like a loss that isn't like sudden, you know what I mean? But a loss that is like, okay, this person was already dealing with cancer, was already dealing with so many things, and was supposed to die so many damn times, but kind of recovered every damn time, but still was a little sick. And it's like you prepare yourself.
Yeah, I was about to say, you prepare yourself.
And then it doesn't happen. You're like, oh fuck yeah, these motherfuckers still here.
Yeah.
And then something happens again, and you prepare yourself, and then motherfucker survives again. You go, goddamn, this is the strongest motherfucker I ever met. You know what I mean? And then when they do pass away, maybe the shock of it is like, oh fuck.
But it's also like, I'm not saying it's also less, but back when I lived in Cali, I knew a family that their father, it was a young guy, man, was maybe like under 40 years old, and he had cancer and he died. But what they kind of said, what they spoke about afterwards was how like it took so long. He was sick for quite a while, and all of them were able to mentally prepare.
Yeah.
They were in some way able to prepare. And that's a lot different than when you just get that phone call like,
that's
hey,
what I
man,
was saying.
such and such is gone. Like, it's boom, out of nowhere. So, yeah, you're able, I think, in that it seemed like they were able to grieve. But you know what? The kids, they said they were, like, prepared. But I think his wife, man, it took her years before she ever got with someone. And she ended up married again, and it's, nice. But, yeah, it took years before she was, like, and that was with being
my
able
mom
to
was sick for many years, and like gravely ill, and even as a teenager, the first time she went into the hospital, when I got off the bus from school, and somebody's like, your mom's in the hospital, she's dying. I was like, what? I ran to the hospital, and when I walked in the room at ICU, they're already the fucking pastor or preacher or whatever was already giving her last rites when I walked into the room. My mom survived that kind of shit like 4 times. Wow. So like when my mother passed away, it was like, okay, she's gone. We knew this was gonna happen. We had low key, like you prepare yourself. Like for years since I was a teen, especially when the shit kept happening, it's like she's gonna be gone. You know this, right? You know this, right? You just don't know when, but she's gonna be gone. You know it. But then when it happened, instantly the grief, because now she's gone. You know, and you don't really think about that. I guess that part. Because now that she's gone, and like just the other night, I was sitting up thinking about her because I really felt like I needed somebody to talk to. And I felt like my mom would be the only one to understand where I was coming from. And in that instant, I realized, fuck, she's not fucking here. And low key, man, I got pissed. I got pissed at her. You know what I'm saying? I got pissed at her. I got pissed at myself. I got pissed at everything. And then I couldn't sleep. And then I got emotional. Then I couldn't sleep anymore. It's just wild. But then at the same time, I'm like, but she's not in pain anymore. She's not suffering anymore. And I think like when we went to this funeral this weekend, that was kind of the sentiment of the room. You know what I mean? Everybody was like, well, we knew this was coming. You know, and even right towards the end, he had made his peace. He had made his peace with his maker. He had made his peace with his God. He had made his peace with everything and was making his peace with his family. He had the time to do that. And so that's what I think what made that beautiful to a degree, because everybody saw that. Not only did they see the death coming, but he made his peace with everything and everybody. So that I think for my family, like that made it easier. The blow was a lot easier, and it was easier to celebrate his life and celebrate, you know, him and everything that he had done in his life, and not so much grieve that he's gone, but grieve that he's not in pain anymore, and grieve that he's not suffering anymore. But I mean, I guess there's just so many different levels to the shit, you know, and everybody takes it and feels however they feel about it, or deals with it the way that the best that they know how at that moment. But I will say that and I'm gonna stand on it, is that, you know, keeping it in and stuffing it down and shit is not fucking
it's not
good. You know,
healthy.
It could be your homie that got, you know, he got killed in the streets or something. You know what I mean? Doing something stupid because of that doesn't make no damn sense to me. Even though I've been in those modes before in life, you know what I'm saying, where something like that happens, where a buddy dies, and the instant, the natural knee-jerk reaction is like, man, I'm about to go fuck somebody up. And then if you, like you always say, OT, that 5-second rule, you know, when you stop and think about it for a second, you go, wait a minute, I need to be smarter about this, because I just lost a loved one, and if I go do something stupid, I may end up losing my life, and if I end up going to prison, now my family loses me. I may not be dead, but being in prison is a loss. You know what I'm saying? Sheba says, hold on, let me pop that back up. She says, it's like you have to redirect your grief to something hopeful about all of it. Yeah, but it's not easy. Yeah, for sure. It is not fucking easy at all. You know what I'm saying? She says, I'm learning how to do just that. Yeah. I mean, cool. Everybody, like I said, man, everybody's going to grieve differently. Everybody has a process, but I think, again, like the most important part is talking about it and being able to talk to someone. You know what I mean? Find a friend, man. Phone a friend. Shit. Text a friend. You know, you don't, like nowadays, you don't necessarily have to be on the phone, but even if you're texting, because texting sometimes is a great way to communicate sometimes, I feel like, because you're able to say shit without interruption. Nobody can butt in. Nobody can tell you to shut up. And nobody can ignore you. They can either read it or not read it. That's, that's a different thing.
That's
but
on
if you're
them.
talking to somebody, if you're talking to somebody through text, you're able to get your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings out without being interrupted. The fucked up part about that is that, people read that shit differently. So sometimes when somebody reads something, it's not exactly what you felt or what you meant. Sometimes that's a good thing as well. You know,
Real talk, real talk, real talk.
Posting
That's cool.
maybe like a status or like maybe like a quote on like your social media be another way of doing that as well. I know that we had talked about that in the check-in multiple times about filtering your social media, but would grieving be one of those things that could be filtered that you could express? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I did that when my mom passed away, and I never post any personal shit on my Facebook page. And I just posted some pictures of my mom, and I wrote as if I was speaking to her.
Oh, wow.
And that was helpful, but I mean, it lightened the blow, but it didn't stop nothing. You know what I'm saying? It lightened the blow, but I was still getting hit. You know what I mean? Emotionally hit. So, I mean, however, for somebody, people post a lot of stuff on Facebook when somebody dies, passes away, or, some people go on Facebook and they grieve the loss of their relationship. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes they go on there and like one of my guys that lost his girl, he was going on there every day after she passed away for like the first week, and he was writing these like messages to her. They were addressed to her. It was like, "Hey babe, I just got home today. It was really hard. Today was one of the worst days. I'm walking our dog tonight. The dog misses you. He's walking around the house looking for you." But it was like just these messages to her in the morning, in the night, and as the days went by, they stopped. But yeah, I felt like, man, that was that person grieving like that in public, like, just talking to the person he lost in public on a post.
Ain't that what we talked about? You guys had a segment on being vulnerable on social media. We
peeped that
last week.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So and that can go both ways. It can become a dual-edged sword too.
Right.
People know that you're vulnerable. That's if you that type. And I've heard that. Matter of fact, we've done that with the military. We've had people. We lose a lot of soldiers in combat, and we'll have grieving guys. Some people need to write, and like I said, that's a good way for them to get it out. Write your homie a letter. Write his family a letter. Or I think even in prison, if I'm not correct, they make people really. Think about something they did. They got to write letters to victims. I don't want to touch on that too much, but it's just one of those things, part of the grieving process, and a part of healing process also.
Right. Shout out to Sheba. She says she never filters her. She says, I'm assuming, she's talking about Facebook. She says, I get on Facebook and I post him. Hold on. I post him all the time. His music, our clips together, and it helps me be okay for the moment. I repost from his page, and that helps too. Yeah, that sounds like it would help. I mean, I don't know your process or anything like that, but I mean, like I said, I don't post anything personal. But if that helps you, hell yeah. I mean, even if the pain is gone for a minute, it's better than the pain being there.
Yeah, because sometimes we need that for in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we need that in the moment relief. You know what I'm saying? Because what if, we need someone to talk to and that person might be busy, the person that we needed to talk to the most at that one time, or that person that we did need to talk to is the person that we are grieving over. So yeah, absolutely. I think that we need to do those type of things to get that relief for the moment. You know what I mean? Because what if you have little people watching you? You know what I'm saying? When my mom passed away, like that was like one of the hardest things for me to do was to keep myself, together when I was in front of my daughter and my sons. You know what I'm saying? So, and until now, I will say I never thought about, that relief in the moment. I only thought about like the end goal, when the end goal was to, be able to be okay, and accept the fact that she was gone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's crazy. Like I'm Sheba, I'm very happy that you're on the show right now and you're sharing this with us, because that, like, people need to know that it's okay to, reach out and do those things in the moment just to get yourself together. So I appreciate you sharing everything that you're sharing with us, man.
Hey Sheba,
We just realized who you were.
Yeah, we just realized it right now. I want to thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's something that we've spoke about. Rest in peace to Meta Mo. We've spoke about Meta Mo on the show, on the check-in, and also on Shy City Cypher. It's, when we've been talking about mental health, and that's why this show's so important, because we just want everybody that's going through something to know that there is always somewhere to talk to. There is always somewhere to go, and check in on somebody. Check in on your homie. Check in on a brother, man, because you don't know what anybody's going through. But we just want to send our love to Meta Mo. Definitely, rest in peace, man.
Yeah, yeah, that shit just blew me away right now, man. Shout out to you, Sheba. For real. Damn. Hey, listen, I'll put it to you like this. We here.
Yes.
The whole Shy City Cypher, Unwrap, fucking 606, fucking.
Shout out to Rubber Room, man.
Yeah.
Legendary, man, and everything that we've ever heard from secondhand, firsthand from anybody else that was near there, a part of it, or saw some of that history, man. That was something super significant in Chicago hip hop, man. So, but yeah, so these things just happen, man, and sometimes everybody grieves. So I think that what's important is that we get that anybody that's watching gets out of this episode is that however it is that you are grieving, that's okay. Whatever you're doing, whether you're making posts, whether you're posting from their page, whatever it is, messages to them on Facebook, any which way, even if it's not on social media, and every day in the morning you wake up and you look at the picture of somebody that passed away and you have your moment with them, and because I've always said, man, like, just because somebody passes away, that relationship does not stop. It's just in a different form.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to my friend Timey, and I feel like forever she'll be my best friend, and forever I'm connected to her, because everything that I go through, I think about her. Even when it's like, I was dealing with a chick and she was giving me drama. Man, I wish Tommy was here to beat your ass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always thinking about her, and she's always in, in my heart and soul. So, that relationship doesn't stop. It just transcends. It transcends
Right.
into the next step.
Yeah.
And the next step will be when, one day you pass away, because we all got our date.
Yeah.
And y'all continue that relationship, hopefully in another realm. You know what I mean? So there's always, it never stops, and we always keep those people in our heart. And I think I've always said that I feel blessed that part of my route in life that I took was being in media, because in some kind of way, bro, and I don't know if that's for me personally or if it's me having the satisfaction knowing that my loved ones will be able to watch me for hours on end when I'm, and it's weird because I didn't have that with my mom. My mom passed away. I don't have a bunch of media. I can't go watch her talk for hours.
Right.
But I feel like I have so many hours of stuff, and I mean, and my kids and everybody will be able to go watch me. And hopefully in a way that'll be able to help them grieve. They'll be able to watch Shy City Cypher podcast, the Cypher, the check-in, and all the things that I've ever done. So I feel like, man, hopefully that's in some way able to grieve, because, everyone that ever passed away that before social media started, I feel like we're so limited in our memories to them.
I was just thinking that
we don't have all these memories to watch. It's like we got a couple pictures at the most, and that's it. Like, people didn't have media back then. I don't have tons of pictures of my mom. Like,
like when you're talking about like the relationship still is ongoing and it never stops. I just immediately started thinking of my brother, because it's been 29 years since he passed away, almost 30, and it's like there hasn't been one fucking day that I haven't thought about him. I mean, throughout the day, like there is not one day that I haven't thought about him at least once for all these years, and it's difficult as fuck because I like literally just the other day I was thinking about him and I was thinking, and I wish we had social media so I could like look at pictures of him moving around and him talking, because now all I have is a memory of his voice, you know, and I don't know, I think just hearing his voice would be more comforting than a memory of his voice, because now I don't even know if I would recognize my own brother's voice, and that troubles me. Same with like my mom. There is stuff on social media with my mom that my sister has and my nieces and stuff. So there's video when they see it, when they play it on her birthdays and stuff, and we laugh and everything, and that helps heal, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have that for my brother, but the relationship is still, it's never going to leave me, you know, until we meet again. It's never going to leave me. It's always going to be a part of me. It's and when you have that with somebody anyways, it's like they're always going to be a part of you, because they are also the people who help mold and shape you, you know, who you are as a person. Even if you've been with somebody for a year and it was really love and real everything, that shit shapes who you start to become on your new journey. That shit, you know what I mean? Because, you know, God forbid somebody passes away, but I think that what you could take from it, or maybe should take from it, are the things that you were blessed being in their presence, and in your journey now, moving forward, is like helping build and shape you to be better at whatever it is on your new journey without them. You know what I mean? They're never gone. When I say without them, don't take that the wrong way, because they're never gone. But that new journey, you know, you can take the good things of it and you know, make those lessons, not lessons, maybe that's a horrible word to use, but something in life that you can, you know, that helps you grow. You know what I mean? And as much as I grieve my mother and my brother, and amongst a myriad of people that I've lost throughout my life, you know what I mean? I even though I haven't like really grieved like the quote unquote way, I always took something and you know, used it to help me move forward. Like now, like even my process of being back in loving music again, you know, shout out to Jizzo for inspiring me as well. But it made me think about my brother. And when I was doing music and I had gotten signed and everything, and he was just like, yeah, man, I'm going to quit my job and I don't do music. I don't know how to do shit. But I just want to be there with you, and I just want to do this with you. And so now with my new thinking and my new shit, it's like that's motivation. You know what I'm saying? Because I fucked off that record deal. I fucked off a lot of shit. And so now that's motivation, you know, finding my new love and shit, and thinking of my brother, how proud he would be right now. You know what I'm saying? Doing this podcast and falling in love with music again and making music and shit, and how happy he would be and how proud he would be. Same with my mother. And I keep her picture like always within sight. We move the studio around, but all I got to do is like, even when I look over at a guest, I see my mom looking at me, and it's a constant reminder. Keep going, keep pushing. Don't worry. You're going to be all right, son. You know what I mean?
That's
Damn.
cool.
Hey, I'm about to fucking...
That's deep. Hey, you brought that. That came somewhere real deep. That came
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you something.
Hit me.
My thing is because you like you said, mine was a grandmother I lost, and I got her. One of the things that I teach people and talk to people about is give them flowers while they live. I'm gonna take them past the grieving stage. But you know that thing we say, don't try to do anything. If you love somebody, tell them you love them today. Because tomorrow they ain't gonna be here. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but like I said, we all know we all got a loss. No, we all got a number. So let's give them flowers while they're here. Think about them. You know, keep yourself focused. Never going. If somebody love you, you love someone, don't go to bed mad at them. Hey, forgive them, whatever. But give them their flowers now. Every now and then I just somebody need a flower. I buy them a flower. Make sure my wife get a flower. My homeboys get what's up, homie? Real hug. That check in, like we talking about.
Check in.
Yeah,
listen, I want to shout out to Sheba, man.
For real. I was gonna do it.
This right here, y'all see y'all people read that right there.
Unexpectedly, man.
Unexpectedly, shit. But this is why we fucking do this show.
Because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's. We didn't know Sheba was gonna tune in today. We didn't know that. You know, she's gonna be such an integral part of the conversation about specifically grieving. You know, and yeah, man, this is why this show is so important, because you just don't know who's watching and who it's gonna help. And you know, inadvertently, we've all said that this show helps us. It helps me. It helps me. The topics have been about our lives before. We'll sit down at the table and be like, all right, I'm going through this, and it'll become the topic for the night. Yeah. You know, we're living real life shit here, and we're talking about things that we're really going through. So, you know.
Shout out, Sheba.
Shout out.
I don't want to say this is our pleasure and you know, to help you or whatever, but this is exactly why we fucking do the show. You know what I'm saying? Because just as much as we need it out here, I feel like people need this, man. I really do, man. And I mean that shit with all my heart. You know what I mean? Yes, stay active in the love display. Absolutely. Hell yeah. Hey, Sheba, man, so much. Thank you so fucking much, man. This shit just means a lot. Just know something, and we say this a lot on, oh, man, you're killing me over here, Sheba. The topic I needed so much. I've been crying for a year, almost daily. Hey, listen, I was just going to tell you right now. We say this every fucking show, but I'm telling you, we mean this shit. If you need us, we're here. Reach out. You can find me if you don't want to be on the show. Reach out on Facebook. Message me. We'll talk. We'll you know, I'll if I just need to be an ear, I'll be an ear. If you just need to lean, I'll just lean. You know what I'm saying? And most definitely on the show, if you know you need it, man, we're fucking here. If you want to talk,
like I was saying earlier, you know, sometimes the week is gonna be hard. You're gonna be going through stuff, and we always just say, man, just hang in there till Sunday, because Sunday we'll get to talk about it. And you know, we have our topics that we tune in, but like I said earlier, if something's going on, this is the check-in. Yeah. Fuck the topic that we talking about. Yeah. Check in with us. Drop the comment drop your thing that's going on in the comments. We'll talk about it. We'll get you on the phone. We'll get you on the line, on the video. Or we won't, or we'll just talk about it, you know? So
yeah, we're here, though. That's why we do this show. Because it's, and just, Sheba, just real quick, I'm going to give you a backstory real quick on how this show started. And I know I've said this before, but Say it again. Because it's so important. The show wasn't always called The Check-In. It was called Sunday Sit Down with the OGs. And my thought process in having this podcast was that I get some OG motherfuckers, and we try to bridge the gap between young hip hop or whatever, and try to keep them off the streets or whatever. So we were doing the show diligently, and what happened was I was having a fucked up ass day. I mean, bad, emotionally fucked up, and before the show, we always, you know, we talk about what we're going to talk about, whatever, and then I was just like, man, I was telling him, because I didn't want to do the show. I was emotionally fucked. I didn't know what was going on, and I started telling him, yo, man, you know, it's a fucked up day, like this and that, and you know, got into a little detail about shit, and then it was like, before we knew it, it was time to go on to the show, and we started to. Well, actually, we all kind of checked in before the show, because then Jizzo was like, oh man, blah blah blah, my day's fucked, and this and this that. OT, same thing. Yeah. And before we know it, the show starts, and it just spills over into the show. Now, mind you, when it was a Sunday sit down with the OGs, that was a Sunday sit down show, and half the time nobody watched that show. I mean, people would jump in, maybe one person here, one person there. When that show jumped off and we started talking about our real feelings about shit, and started going through just unpacking this emotional baggage and shit, people just started coming in left and right, commenting and saying things and getting involved in the conversation and everything. But that next morning I woke up and I was like, holy shit, that's the show. Fuck that OG shit. That's the show, the check-in. People need that. I needed that because when that show ended, I felt better. I wasn't like 100%, but I was better. And then throughout doing that show, I've changed my whole attitude about shit and how I perceive things, how I look at people, how I treat people, even having my boundaries and shit for stuff. You know what I mean? How I communicate. You know what I mean? So like this show has ended up being not just a help for us doing the show, but it has been a help for people, and that's why we do it. And there's no way in hell I'm stopping this show at this point, because every time we do this show, I say it all the time. Somebody out here needs to hear this shit. Somebody out here needs to listen to this shit. Somebody needs this. And because somebody out there needs this shit, I'm gonna keep doing it. This shit is not going to stop. And I'm dead set on that, and I'm standing on that, because I really figured out, and I'm still figuring out how much this show is helping me personally. And I'm not being selfish about this shit. I'm saying it's helping me too. I need this motherfucker just as much as I need people to be on it and to help themselves and to gravitate towards something better thought process or anything that we can do to help. We're here because, like we say in the very beginning, number one, we're not therapists. We're not counselors. We have paths that we went down, and we're unwrapping and unpeeling this onion of life and figuring shit out. And we're all not fucking, we're human, so like we all go through this shit, and we all need something or somebody to lean on. And so we say that always. And then we also say, if you got cotton candy ass ears and think about bunny rabbits and rainbows, this ain't the show for you, because we keep it the most important part on this show is that we stay true to everything, that we stay true to ourselves. And so like I say a lot of harsh shit, because that is life. Life is harsh. There are going to be harsh things, you have to deal with it. And also, too, I say things the way that I say them because some people only understand a certain type of language. Some people only take in a certain way that you say shit. Shout out to Sheba again. It's needed. Mirror moments will empower a person. Big facts. This is why we do it. But, like I said, we also say if you're a touchy, sensitive person, this is probably not for you. But we want everybody. We want everybody. If you feeling this way, if you feeling any kind of way, even if sometimes you don't need to say shit. You just fucking sit your ass back and listen. You know what I'm saying? We may not always make sense, but we making sense to somebody somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to make sense to you. And maybe it won't make sense at that moment. It might make sense to you about a month later, a week later, a day later. Because I know when we did that Sunday sit down and I woke up that next morning, it took 24 hours for me to realize what the fuck had just happened. You know what I'm saying? And for that, I'm forever grateful to UOT. I'm forever grateful to Jizzo. And I'm forever grateful to Cam for always chiming in on the show. I'm grateful to everybody that watches the show and everybody that chimes in. And shout out to Sheba, man. We love you over here, man. So, yeah, that part. You know what I'm saying?
Much love to you.
And
I mean,
like
the key to it is like you said.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
I'm saying the key to it is like you said. Just check in. And that's such a. It sounds catchy, but it actually is true. Just check in. I mean, it's become part of my conversation when I'm talking. Hey,
yeah,
check in. You good? It's just part of it. So yeah.
So like we always do, we're gonna call it one tonight. Tonight was kind of heavy. I'm gonna have to unpack some shit and process some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm really thinking about my mom and my brother and just a bunch of other stuff. So I gotta unpack and process. Not saying I don't want to talk, but I also know that Jizzle, you got to get going. Shout out to Sheba, man. Love. But like we always do, I'm gonna start off with you, OT, then Cam, then Jizzle, and then myself. Last words.
Hey, again, I'm thankful that I'm back on the show, fellas. Much love to all of you guys. Like I was saying, my closing thought is give those people that you love the flowers while they're above ground. Don't take them to the graveyard. They don't see them then. So let's make sure we're sending out that love to everybody. And that grieving process, let that process be what it's gonna be. Take your time, talk to somebody, keep checking in with us, and it's gonna be okay. We'll say love to you out here from Germany, and I'll see you on the next show.
Yes, sir.
Peace, OT.
Peace, OT. Glad to have you back, bro. Cam.
What's up? What's up? I just want to say, you know, when you're grieving, don't forget to lean on your village and lean on the people that love you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to help you get through your process. I know that it helped me when I started to realize that, you know, I can't do this on my own. And so sometimes you got to be reminded that you don't have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And those things, grieving is one of those things you don't have to do on your own. So just know that you got people out there that love you, care about you, and want nothing but the best for you. And I love this motherfucking show. This is my favorite show ever. I love it. And excuse me. And like we've said earlier, if you guys have anything, you know, that you're going through, whether it be grieving, whether it be you breaking up with a girlfriend, going through the divorce, you know what I'm saying, got in a fight with your best friend or whatever, you know what I'm saying, like, come in, check in with us, man. This is not, you know, I feel like this was a men's mental health show, but now it's like turning into like, this is for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is a mental health show for men, women, children, all ages. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to, you know, if you guys need help, this is the show. This is what we do. So peace and love, everybody.
Yeah, man. Mad love, Cam.
Yeah, for sure. I think that my thoughts are, if I could add to y'all grieving process, to whatever it is that you do to grieve, if I could add to that, I would just say that don't stop remembering the good thoughts, all the good memories, because that helps. It helps me, and I know that, you know, just don't forget the good stuff, man. Like, a lot of us don't want to remember like the bad stuff, and it's always just good to just remember all the good memories and all the good things that you had with that person, and that'll help you and continue on. Like, you know, I know people that have moved on and are in other relationships, and you know, they're happy and everything, but every once in a while they'll post about the person that passed away, and they'll talk about something good, a good memory. So, you know, never forget that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to that. That's good advice. I'm going to end this off by saying something, man. Reconciliation is key. You have to reconcile with the person. If it's a relationship, if it's a family member, there are things you got to reconcile. Yeah, we don't want to think about the bad things. We try to focus our attention on the good things, but we also have to reconcile things. You know what I'm saying? I have to forgive. You know, I have to forgive myself. I have to forgive my mother. I have to forgive the person in my relationship. I have to forgive, and I have to forgive myself because it's important. Because if I think about my mother, I'm gonna end up thinking about the fucked up shit, and I have to reconcile that shit. I got to put an end to that. I have to say to that woman, I forgive you. And I forgive myself. You know what I'm saying? And another part of that is, listen, is as hard as this may seem or whatever, it's not your fault.
Right.
It's not your fault.
Say that again.
Yeah, it's not your fault, because one of those things that I thought about my brother was the last time I saw him, I kept thinking, if I just would have grabbed him and said, "Hey, come with me. Come with me." I should have grabbed him, or I should have picked up the phone, or I should have did this. It's not your fault. You know, I'm gonna end this shit, you know, but you know, we all have to meet our maker at some point. We all are gonna go through loss. And if I had to leave this show tonight to say something, I would say reconcile. Reconcile. And fuck, I ain't got shit else to say, man. Like I said, I wrap my brain around this one tonight, and I'm I'm gonna sleep well tonight because I have reconciled some things. So I'm gonna sleep well, but that does not mean I'm not gonna think about it. But it's gonna be okay for me to think about it. It's gonna be okay for me to think about the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be all right. And I'm not just telling myself just to tell myself that. I reconciled it already. I forgave them. I forgave myself. And now I can really look at the positive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Talk.
that's what it is, man. This has been the check-in, man. We love y'all, man. We are going to be back every Sunday,
Every Sunday.
8:30.
Every Sunday.
8:30.
8:30.
Hey, but don't we have other shows on the channel as well?
Yeah, we got Unwrap, the podcast, which we talk to MCs on their journey and everything. I really don't want to talk about that right now. I don't feel like that's appropriate to just start plugging shit.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But next time we'll plug everything. But I just, in my mind right now, there's enough things in my, well, at least for me, things to unpack, you know, about tonight. But I appreciate, you know, the thought to do that, but I just don't feel like it's cool right now to do that.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see you next Sunday, man. And you can check on all of the, if you want to see all the other stuff, just look through the things, man. You'll find it. You know what I'm saying? But you know where, most importantly, you know where to find us on Sunday. Come and check in with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, check in.
Come and check in with us, man. And God bless y'all, everybody out there, man.
Peace
Do
to all
your
the
thing.
viewers.
Hold your head up. If you do your best, if you need it, do your best to fucking hold on till Sunday. Hold on till Sunday. We'll be here. Shout out to Sheba, man. We love you, baby girl. And shout out to everybody else. Peace. We out.
Peace.
Yeah.